Life persists on Earth because every species has the fundamental ambition to propagate itself. The most basic instinct of any species is to propagate itself. Even the instinct to live is subordinate to this instinct. There are animals which sacrifice their lives in exchange for an opportunity to reproduce. Once offspring is born, every species will go to great lengths to ensure that they survive. Education of the offspring is a means to ensure that the offspring survives. It follows from the fundamental instinct to propagate. It is a necessary condition for survival. Now, African and Europeans are just different races of the same species. But if Africans want to survive as a different and sovereign race, they must reproduce themselves and their culture through education. September is Heritage Month. King Shaka is only a small part of that heritage, and he is most relevant to northern Ngunis who adopted his clan name Zulu. Dim-witted Zulus tend to want to ram so-called Shaka Day down the throats of all other South Africans. I struggle with the concept of heritage. Is it our ancient history? Is it a preservation of our museum splendor? Does heritage applaud the road we have traveled from the situation portrayed at the museum to where we are today? The observance of Heritage Month suggests that we have a store of proud heritage which we would like to bequeath to future generations. Yet our attitude to education does not suggest that we Africans have any ambition to exist as a separate sovereign race with a lasting heritage. We fail to build quality institutions that last. Educational institutions are just an example of that failure. Black parents who are serious about the future of their children take them to white-run, historically white schools. By choice, white people are responsible for the education of black kids. What heritage will these teachers pass on to the kids? We all do the tribal cultural things in a light-hearted mood, but we don't really take these things seriously. What most of us take seriously is the universal human culture of literacy, numeracy, science, and all the knowledge and skills that make the modern world go round. As a matter of fact, it is our tribal culture which makes us struggle to build lasting institutions. Let me explain. People who are steeped in tribal culture have very extended families indeed. The father's or the mother's clan consists of the thousands of people who share his or her clan name. For example, there are obviously too many members of the Mdlalose clan for me to know them all. Some members of the Mdlalose clan are close to my family tree, but others are rather far. But in terms of Nguni culture, they are my relatives. I can't marry any Mdlalose woman. Some families recognize wider clan networks than others. This complicates the question of conflict of interest. In African culture, it is difficult to define who is family, even in KZN, where the surname reveals the clan. The situation is complex. In the Eastern Cape, it is even worse because surname does not reveal the clan. From the point of view of clan members, they are always happy to hear that a key government official belongs to their clan. Clan members expect that the official will take the relationships into consideration when taking decisions. People despise an official who is powerless, even to help relatives. Mandela and Bheki are not only criticized by Eastern Cape citizens for doing nothing to develop the Eastern Cape. People expected the Bheki village at Mbeuleni to have nice roads and a multiple structure palace that rivals a small town like Nkandla. Though through clan connections, the ANC has spawned a feudal noble class with access to all the opportunities. African culture simply cannot accommodate meritocracy. This is why I am not concerned about the fact that blacks have surrendered education of their kids to whites.